Hey, what's up, everyone? I'm Sade. Thank y'all so much for joining me on my channel, Hidden Alchemy, where we are diving today into the astrological forecast for this final lunar eclipse in the sign of Taurus. Now, before I dive deeply into this video on a deep, intricate level, if you have not seen any of my videos on what the sign Taurus means, what Scorpio means, what the North Node, South Node is, as well as what is a lunar eclipse as opposed to a solar eclipse, head over to my channel and check out some of those videos just so you can have a better understanding of what I'm going to be really diving into for this topic today. So, we finally have the last lunar eclipse happening in the sign of Taurus on October 28th. However, you can feel eclipse energy, the season that the eclipse sign starts in. So for right now, since it's a lunar eclipse, it means it's a full moon. So it's going to start when Scorpio season starts, which actually just started. So on top of the sun moving into Scorpio, we already are feeling this eclipse energy. Now, another reason as to why we are feeling intense eclipse energy is because we have also just had the Libra solar eclipse happened just 2 weeks ago. So it's October has been a lot on a personal level as well as for the collective. There's just a lot of change happening, a lot of justice, and I should actually say injustice happening around the world. And whatever is happening collectively, you can feel that on a personal level on in your own day-to-day and in your own life. So, right now, we are dealing with the Taurus Scorpio aspect. But before I dive into that, I want to briefly touch on the Libra solar eclipse that we had happen, which is going to help you to understand why this final Taurus eclipse is really going to be the closing out chapter of whatever you have been working on in terms of your self worth, self value, and how you are in relation to people, places, and things. So, we just had the solar eclipse in Libra where we had the sun and the moon in the sign of Libra, and that's a south node. That was a south node eclipse. So basically, what that was something from the past coming back, okay, to remind you of where you have been. South node energy is always the past. And when it's a south node thing, it's something that we have to get rid of. We have to clip that is no longer needed for us to progress forward towards the north node. And in this case, the north node is in Aries, where we are moving towards independence, towards leadership, and towards more courage in our life. So now we have the lunar eclipse happening in Taurus. And if you think back to October, November of 2021, this is how long we have been working with this Taurus Scorpio axis. So think back to November of 2021, October, November time. And what was a theme pertaining to personal power as well as a lack of self worth or a development of your self worth and your self esteem? Now, this final lunar eclipse in Taurus, we are closing out that chapter that we have been working on from 2021. Now, for me, I have the North Node. I'm a Taurus rising Scorpio descendant, right? So, your descendant is your opposite sign to your rising sign. And I have had this eclipse energy in my first house since November of 2021. And it has been the biggest transformation of my life thus far. So think back to wherever you have Taurus and Scorpio. Where in your life have you been cleaning up that house? Now you can close the chapter, especially if you have been doing the work. Now, Taurus rules our relationships. It's ruled by Venus, it's earth energy. It also rules how we obtain money and how we make money and possibly share money with other people. That has been a really big theme since 2021 of kind of ushering out of the pandemic energy and ushering back into the world as it was before, quote unquote. However, now things are shifting, things are changing. People are leaving jobs left and right. Jobs are cutting people left and right. And people are having to really decide how they are going to go about making their own money and new ways that they are going to relate to people, places, and things. Now, the opposite of the moon is going to be in the sign of Scorpio. Scorpio rules what we absorb from other people. Scorpio is the feminine Mars, it's water. And it's really about how we develop our personal power, or what personal power means for us, and how we're able to tap into our personal power to really get the things that we want. Mars is all about your desires, your wishes, what you want for yourself on a deep instinctual level. When you put that in a feminine sign, right, it's tapping into your personal power of understanding that you alone can transform yourself into the things that you want. And this is what we have been working on with this Taurus and Scorpio aspect. Now that we have this final lunar eclipse closing this chapter for a few decades, where we won't have to worry about Taurus and Scorpio energy as intensely as we have been for the past year and a half, the question is, where are you still holding on to a way of relating that is no longer real or authentic to who you are as a person? Scorpio likes to unveil the truth of people. Scorpio likes to bring things that are being hidden in the dark, bring it to the surface so that we can see what it is and so that we can use it as our power. Scorpio is all about knowing that the things that you hide for yourself or from other people is actually what your greatest powers are in the world. So when we are working with Scorpio opposing Taurus, it's really asking that question of, where are you still hiding? Because now you cannot relate to these people, places, and things the way that you used to, because it no longer serves you. These things are no longer of value. These things are no longer of resource. Have you been tapping into your own personal value, your own personal resource, seeing yourself as that resourceful being and moving in the world from that space? Because Taurus is ruled by Venus, Venus is all about attracting, but you can only attract what you are. And Scorpio is asking you to transform yourself so that you can be what you've always wanted to be, to attract the things that you've always wanted to attract. That has been what we've been working on for this past year and a half. So closing out this chapter is going to be a lot of things coming to the surface. And the reason I say that is because we have Mars, the sun, as well as Mercury in the sign of Scorpio, opposing the moon in Taurus. Now, the moon is exalted in Taurus. So that's great that we are dealing with a Taurus moon type of energy, because it's what's going to keep the collective grounded. However, a lot of things are coming back to the surface. Why? Because Scorpio was the south node. The south node is about your past. Taurus was the north node. So things are going to be coming back from your past that you might have thought you dealt with, feelings that you might have thought you've gotten over, is coming right back for you to see it clearer, for you to unveil and see the truth and make the right decision based off of your personal worth, your personal respect that you have for yourself, the love that you have for yourself, and your personal power. So expect a lot of things to come to the surface. This is not an eclipse. Eclipses in general are not times for you to make manifestations, and they're not times for you to take action. It's a moment for you to sit back, especially because this is a full moon eclipse. Sit back and allow what this eclipse needs you to see to be seen. That's Scorpio. Scorpio is all about the hidden things being seen. Allow those things to be seen, allow those things to come to the surface. And in true Scorpio fashion, be strategic about how you act. The reason I say this is because we have Mars and Mercury in Scorpio. Mars loves to be in Scorpio, right? Because Scorpio is ruled by Mars. Mars in Scorpio is going to be all about strategy. It's going to notice what's going on, observe a situation for what it truly is, and make smart decisions on how to move. Mercury in Scorpio is very, very powerful. Check out my video coming up on what it means when you natally have your Mercury in the sign of Scorpio. But this is a very powerful place because these are people, well, not people, but this energy is about using your words either to heal or to kill. Okay, because that's Scorpio. Scorpio is all or nothing. So this is not the time to have uncomfortable conversations. No, let it come to the surface of what it is. Write it down, journal it. And then when the time is right, right, in true Scorpio and Taurus fashion, be patient. Then you know how to make the right moves and the right choices moving forward. So really allow all of that scorpion dark beautiful energy to come to the surface. I love Scorpion energy. It's one of my favorite energies to study. Allow the darkness to be your place of transformation, of power, and of healing. Let this eclipse show you what it needs to show you. Be grounded in that Taurus energy. The moon's in Taurus for a reason, asking us to be stable within ourselves. Slow down. Let everything come up. Let everything spiral. And then take the right action. The last thing I will say is if you are going to take any type of action during this eclipse energy, make sure that it is wrapped in love and compassion, because that is Taurus, that Venus energy. The Scorpio energy is going to want us to fight. It's going to want us to yell. It's going to want us to be upset and to, we're seeing the truth of things and the truth of people. So we really want to, say the things that we got to say. But wrap your words with love and compassion. Instead, use your words and your actions to heal instead of to kill. Okay, that is the dichotomy when we're working with all this Scorpio energy. But in any case, I hope you all have an amazing eclipse season. This is the final eclipse of the year, and we will be clear to move forward and to be a little more stable as we move into November. All right, y'all, thank you so much for joining me for our astrology talk. I will see you for our next video.